What if I told you there's a place on Earth where 3 kings lost their lives in one single day? And no, it's not a made-up story from Game of Thrones. It actually happened right here in Morocco. In the past, this country was a melting pot of cultures, a place where 3 different worlds collided. But it was also a powder keg just waiting to explode. Because back then, controlling this area meant controlling the entire trade route between Europe and Asia. And 3 men wanted that power more than anything else: Don John of Portugal, the self-proclaimed king of Morocco, and the ruler of Songhai, Askia Ismail. Each of them had a dream to build an empire that stretched from the Atlantic Ocean to the Indian Ocean, and they were willing to do whatever it took to make it happen. The year is 1578, and the Portuguese have just landed in Morocco with a plan to capture the city of Alcácer Quibir. They fought alongside the local king against the Safavids, but soon it became clear that they weren't on the same page. Both the Portuguese and the Moroccans wanted the same thing, which created a lot of tension. In fact, the Moroccan king was so paranoid that he had the Portuguese ships blockaded in the harbor. He didn't trust them as far as he could throw them. Meanwhile, the other 2 kings were watching this conflict from afar with amusement. For years, the Songhai Empire had been trying to push the Portuguese out of Africa. So when they heard that the Moroccans were giving them a hard time, they thought it was a sign that it was finally happening. Askia Ismail even sent his own men to help the Moroccans fight the Portuguese. But it wasn't as easy as they thought it would be, because while the Africans had numbers on their side, the Portuguese had something else: superior firepower. Their cannons were bigger, their rifles were deadlier, and their ships were faster. Despite being outnumbered, the Portuguese were winning the battle. And this is where the story takes a turn, because right as things were looking darkest for the Africans, reinforcements arrived. Who would have thought that after all these years, it was the Portuguese who needed help from the outside? King Sebastian of Portugal may have been only 22 years old, but he was a fearless warrior who wasn't afraid to get his hands dirty. In fact, he came to Morocco with the sole purpose of capturing it. For the next few weeks, the 3 kings fought tooth and nail to claim victory. But in the end, it was King Sebastian who came out on top. He captured the city of El Jadida, defeated the Moroccans in battle, and even chased them all the way back to their capital. And that's when the unthinkable happened. As the 3 kings stood facing each other on the battlefield, they all ended up dying on the same day, just like I said at the beginning. It's a story that has been passed down through the ages, a reminder that no matter how powerful you are, you're only human, and sometimes even kings die in battle. If you liked this episode, stay tuned for more updates.